Do you know what's in this box? In this here box, there's a dream come true. So people, this is Kozel, I think it's Kozel, and there's nothing quite like first beer of the day. God bless the Phoenicians, because I think they're the ones that invented beer somewhere around, was it like 6 or 7 millennia ago? Yeah, God rest their souls. Just came home from work. Jesus, this is good. Very fresh. One of the better beers around in its price range. Quite affordable, yet very fresh, very easy to drink. A little on the bitter side. And do you know what's in this box? In this here box, there's a dream come true. I shit you not. And these are words I don't use loosely. It really is a dream come true. It's unopened because I'm going to open it for you. Well, with you, let's say rather. This here is my first photo book ever. Hopefully, first among many to come, but most definitely my first. And there's quite a bit of a story behind it. I'm gonna throw it here until we get to the unboxing part. And I want to take a quick second to ask you to kindly consider supporting my work here if you enjoy it. Like, subscribe, share, click the bell, and there's even a buy me a coffee link down below if you're so inclined and feel like making a small or rather generous donation. The story. I have been thinking about creating, or rather printing, my work for quite a bit of time now. I kept hearing people's opinions about how everything changes for you as a photographer once you print your stuff. I didn't doubt it for a second. I was sure of it. Even more so because I did print a few of my photos back in 2020, I think, when I had my first photo exhibition. I printed a few of my macro shots back when I did macro and sold a few quite successfully and surprisingly, I might add. So I had a bit of a taste about what it's like to print photos, but time had passed and I hadn't printed any since. I kept seeing people's videos about photo books and printing small and printing large and printing deluxe luxury editions and printing notebooks and scratchbooks, and printing in general seemed to offer a degree of satisfaction I hardly ever knew. I mean, I enjoy photography its in entirety. I mean, I love the entire process. I love the very shooting of the photos. I love the editing. I love the posting on social media. I love getting feedback. I love talking about them, my photos, other people's. I love photography. But there was this thought that kept haunting me about printing my own stuff and printing more regularly and printing my more recent work. Because, not to blow my own horn or anything of the sort, but my photography has improved decently enough, I think, during the last couple of years. So I wanted to see how my more recent work looked printed. I started asking around town about making maquettes and little tryouts and I asked about different formats like notebook styles or just plain old loose photos. I thought about and asked about small format and large format, 30 by 40. But I even looked online for different self-publishing offerings, and generally there were two things that kept me back from biting the bullet and actually starting to actually print my work. First of all was the cost. Now, there might be one or two amongst you that know that I'm getting married in a bit over a month. So there's a fair bit of expenses and money being spent going towards that endeavor. So let's just say I have no money lying around waiting to be spent on printing my stuff. I do spend maybe more than I should on lenses, but that's I try to look for bargains, and that doesn't really feel like much of an expense. Few 20 bucks there, 50 bucks there, 30 bucks there, it's not really that much. But everywhere I looked, printing my own photo books was kind of expensive. So I thought I'll visit this thought again after I'm done with the wedding and the expenses that come with it. Now, the second reason that has kept me back was because everything felt, I mean, the whole process of preparing my photos for printing, the pre-production work, felt like somewhat of a chore. I'm pretty bad when it comes to discipline and motivating myself to go through all my photos and pick the best ones and sequence them and arrange them in a layout that's good for printing, and all that jazz seemed like much more of a hassle than I felt like having. So I kind of just kept dreaming about it, and in the back of my head I just hoped for the right moment when the stars aligned and I have spare money for printing, I have spare time to build everything, maybe have somebody to help me with the sequencing and the layout of the book, and yeah, I kind of put it in the back of my mind and didn't really think much of it until one fateful night. Not more than a couple of weeks ago, I stumbled upon an ad on Instagram. Now, although this video is not sponsored, I do want to at least give a shout out to Saal Digital, that's S-A-A-L Digital. a company that advertised on Instagram, and the ad simply said, apply here for a voucher to create your own professional line photo book. I didn't think much of it. I just clicked apply. I entered my email address, and not 1/2 hour later, I received a voucher for a full 100 euros to go towards creating my own professional line photo book. And long story short, I don't even think it's a couple of weeks later, this arrived. Now, I've rambled on long enough, much more than I should have, undoubtedly. Let's move straight to unboxing this stuff. You will see my first opinions. I will try to, I will edit this video, but I will just try to keep it rather raw and honest. You get to see my first impressions opening this, browsing through the photo book, and let's just do it. This is it. Let's open this stuff. This is it. Quite simple packing. Let's throw this out of the frame, and this is the stuff. Very, very nice. Really, really nice. Leather. I even think this is real leather. Quite a bit of heft to it. Man, I'm really, really excited about this. Still haven't opened it yet. I just want to feel it, and it does feel special. I mean, not to beat around the bush too much, but there's something really, really special about holding something as palpable and as significant as a book. Now, I think I'm going to change the lens here and give you a better look of the book. Now, the title is in Romanian, În loc de 1000 de cuvinte. It means instead of 1,000 words. Usually I'm kind of bad with titles, but I think this is rather nice. Let's open it. Oh man, this is so exciting. There's no text here, just photos. Wow. This is really, really wonderful. It's kind of like a semi-glossy type of paper. I think it's Fuji paper. Really, really good neutral white balance. The monochrome stuff, it's all black and white, the book. The monochrome stuff is really spot on. There's no tinting. I've had prints in the past that kind of veered towards blue. I will say a few things about some of the pictures, but I will mostly try and let them speak for themselves. Excellent sharpness. Really, really good printing. Oh my Jesus. I love this photo. It's one of my favorites ever. Really great stuff. This is actually my uncle. He's my mother's brother. We still raise our own animals. We slaughter our own animals and we eat our own food. This might be kind of graphic for most of you, for some of you maybe, but personally I think it's just life. It is what it is. People need to eat, and we eat animals. It's just the way God intended. It's a poor old lamb that proved to be quite tasty. This is my sweet mother feeding some of our chickens and ducks here. This is a very decent young man showing us by us I mean my brother and I, around at a nearby monastery. Speaking of which, this is my brother. I don't know these two, but I love this image. It's really amazing how sharp they came out. Really, really excellent print stuff. Really, really excellent job, man. Great stuff. I find the humor in this photo very endearing. I have no idea what this guy was doing here, but hey. This is a pretty old photo, back from when I still used to use the Sony a6000. I think it's 2020, 2019, 2020. But I love this photo. I think it's a great photo. Now I love this photo too, but some of you, my viewers, my followers, have seemed to enjoy it a lot. I have gotten very, very good feedback on this photo. I feel like I should use gloves with this. It's still rather warm and my hands kind of tend to get a little sweaty. I really don't want to damage this in any way. This is a very recent photo. Took it just a few weeks ago. Now this was taken in the fall of 2020, I think, during an anti-restriction lockdown protest. This is a very well-known character in Arad. Man, the sharpness, really excellent. The tonal gradation. This came out way, way better than I expected. I love this shot. I love this shot. I find it really funny. I enjoy a bit of humor. I like to think I'm a funny sort of guy. This, again, very impactful, very, very telling. I like this photo a lot. I like this one too, even though it's kind of abstract and you could say it's about nothing. But personally, I think it's got a good story. It's you can't know this, but it's taken from outside in. It's a gambling sort of pub. There's really very many of these in Romania and in Arad, and I was on the street shooting in through the window. I just like the silhouette and the tones. And now this is kind of like a series. there's a lot of Orthodox icons glued to fence posts, to parking meters and machines, and like this one. There's really many around, and I think it's really wonderful. This is again a recent photo, and I like it a lot. I like going into churches and taking pictures inside. There's really great architecture, really great light, really fantastic, really splendid light inside churches most of the time. This is the same church at different times. I think it's months apart on the opposites. Well, not really opposites. This is the short side of the church. This is the long side of the church. Really, I'm blown away. I'm loving this. I'm really gushing. I hope you find this enjoyable. This better be worth your while, because if not, this video is gonna flop. But I don't care. I enjoy this process a lot, and I really did want to share it with you. I wanted you to get my very first impressions, and if I'm not screwing it all up royally, I'm going to leave it like this. It just kind of really very raw. I like this a lot. It's a pub. I take my camera pretty much anywhere, and it was a concert I attended. I think it was early spring, or was it winter? And I really liked the dynamics here. These two are obviously having a really interesting conversation. She's really surprised at something. He's paying attention to what they're saying. They're all friends. I saw them come in together. And she's obviously, you might not think it, but they're all together. And she's really very bored. Really very bored. Now, this is a girl's secret kind of scene. And I like this bust here, bare breasts, and the shapes, round shapes here, round shapes here, and then again, round shapes here. I actually bought this lady lunch. Gypsy people often beg, and I don't mean this in any sort of derogatory way. But when people ask me for money, I try to give them a little, every time I can. And she came up to me and just told me she was hungry. I bought her a sausage and some fries, and she ate it. Seemed she enjoyed it. This is a funny dude. I think it's a funny picture. Selling watermelons. His belly's like a watermelon. I'm gonna look like him soon. Yeah, I've put on some weight, sadly enough. This is a very funny character in our neighborhood, walking his boss's dogs. I like this photo a lot. Graphically, I think it's a great composition. I mean, again, not to toot my own horn, but yeah, I made this book with these pictures because I like these pictures. I really do. Funny dude again, holding a quarter of a watermelon. Churches again. This is during the Resurrection of Christ religious ceremony that was held this Easter. We have this midnight sermon, and this was right after they put the lights back on. I like his expression, I like it a lot. I like the icons in the back. This is my uncle again. He's actually a singer in a church. This time he didn't sing. I like the light here. Really, really great light. And I have to say, the print job on this is amazing. It's really amazing. I mean, it was on the expensive side. But I think it's well worth it. Really, really kind of thick paper. It's not glossy, it's semi-glossy, kind of matte. Really great. They call him the American. He's sort of like a bum, but not really. He sadly had kind of fried his brain due to a lot of drugs. But he's a decent guy. He's really not aggressive. He's really not mean. He just talks a lot of English in a Romanian city, and people call him the American. He calls me Mr. Photographer. This was taken from the window of my apartment a couple of springs ago. They were renovating the building across. This is on top of the 4th floor. Really like this picture. This is my mother again, playing with her cat. Yeah, my mother loves animals. All sorts. All of them. This is an aunt. She's 87 years old. She still raises chickens. She still tends to the house. And it's not a small house at that. She has a few chickens. Not sure if she still has a garden, but yeah. She's 87 years old and still tends to the chickens. God bless her soul. You might recognize this. It's the cover of my YouTube channel, and I think this is the last photo. This has been it. Quite an experience. Quite a lovely thing. Thank you for being here and sharing this moment with me. I'm almost kind of emotional. I'll wrap things up here. You know the drill. Please like, share, subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.